Legend of over here, and today we've got a rating your doomstack video covering a Gorebull doomstack. So there are essentially 19 Minotaurs in here, because there is one Brave Shaman of Wild. Makes sense to put in a wizard, but yeah, he's got 18 Gorebulls and Taurochs commanding. So going up against a bit more than 3 full stacks of vampire count units across 4 armies. Auto Resolve says close to feet. Looks like they've got a fair bit of equipment on here. Let's just jump in here and see how they go. This is definitely one of those sort of brainless armies where you just go in and just pound, and it's either strong enough to handle the enemy or it isn't. The more you can cycle charge, I suppose, with these units, the better as well. But with any single entity doomstack, it's really important to keep them close together, especially when you're dealing with an enemy that has no missile attack. Because having them fight in close proximity to each other allows them to get hit less. They act as a single unit. But the problem with Gorebulls is that they kind of bounce around a lot, so you constantly need to, like, tell them to get back into one unit. Now, I'm not sure if Taurochs is necessarily the best one to be commanding this army here. You might be better off just with just a regular Gorebull in terms of just practicality, but we'll look into that later. Also, getting like 18 Gorebulls would be pretty damn expensive in terms of dread. But anyway, let's chuck them in here and we'll see how we go. Like I said, pretty brainless army, just throw in, just go and attack. Now, as for the wizard, I will use a little bit of magic, but not a lot. I don't want to win the entire battle with this one. Now, wild magic is okay. Yeah, it's okay. But if you're looking for buffs, you're probably better off with shadow magic. Or, no, beast magic would be better. Because I reckon with Law of the Wild, the way that that provides its like maximum effectiveness is by damage dealing. With either Traderkin, Viletide, or Brave Scream. Currently, Brave Scream does the most amount of armor piercing. Traderkin got a fair bit of nerfs. Devolvers no longer does any damage. But yeah, the good thing about Beastman is that you got these abilities here as well. So if you do go up against a missile-heavy army, it's got lots of guns that could threaten these guys. You could always just get rid of their ammo before you get into it. So I'm just going to go straight for their mortis engines, actually, because we want them to be active for as little time as possible. Now, we've got to be a bit careful with this guy here, because they might charge after them. Looks like we got caught in force march or something. Already exhausted. Also, Gorebulls being anti-large, we should definitely prioritize the larger targets and have the wizards take out the infantry. So in this case here, with a nice big blob, this is a good opportunity for Traderkin. You don't need to overcast it, just one big cast in there. He's got a lot of items. We don't want to rely on them too much, but yeah, he does have them. So that one cast there did 10,000 damage, which is pretty good considering how big the blob is. And let's hope we can actually get away from this one here, which doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Oh, hang on. They backed off. You gotta watch out for units that are faster than you. Trying to stay away from them. We've got good speed on it. So this is really the only unit you need to micro. And then see how they're starting to spread out? Just get back in to the center there. I'll take out the infantry with this. And then every now and again pop down those Helm of Discords. What else has it got? Damn Black Knights away from me here. But yeah, they're not taking much damage. They're dishing out decent damage. Obviously the Brave Shaman is doing... God. ridiculous amounts of work here for us. But he's actually our most vulnerable unit. This is weird because like we're faster than this unit, but because of charge speed and also because we're caught in force march, it looks like, they just caught up to us. Alright, Spray Scrim here, try to get rid of them. Alright, maybe if these guys here could pull out and try to get rid of this one here, just because it was going after our wizard. Problem is I'm kind of stuck. Alright, he might actually be able to beat these Black Knights, because at the end of the day they are anti-infantry, so they're not even doing a very good job of taking him out. Got a few potions of healings in here. Now, you shouldn't ever use all of your Helm of Discords at the same time, because it doesn't stack. You want to use them one after another. Good, the Black Knight. Oh, I actually managed to beat those Black Knights, that's good. Really high melee attack on the entire army. I wonder if they're all disciplined. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get out of that. And keep Trader Kinning. Okay, with 100,000 damage done, that's enough. That's enough. Let's let the Gorebulls handle the rest of this. We could very easily keep shredding them with Trader Kid. In a huge blob like this, we can see just how powerful that is. There's a mortis engine in there that needs to go. It's not going to do that much damage to single entities, but we should still try to get rid of it. Because if we have a look at it, it is doing a lot of damage, actually. Yeah, we should have gotten rid of that. Problem is, going in this big blob over here, sometimes they just forget their orders constantly. Okay, yeah, you just come back. We've still got plenty of wins reserves, but that's enough. He did 400 kills. Let's see what the Gorebulls can do. Like I said, this is a rating your doomstack, not a disaster battle. We're here to test this out. That's it. Okay, then we got rid of all the mortis engines for the time being. I didn't realize it did that much damage to us that quickly. So now we can get in, get a bit of a close-up. Well, they're lasting a decent amount of time. We had a few heals in here, but yeah, they're holding. God, we could do so much more damage with the Trader Kids, but after this one's here, it's already done 100,000 damage. I don't want the wizard to just take out the entire army essentially by itself. We've got to see how much these Gorebulls can actually do. So with them having done about 10,000 damage each so far. Ah, that's another thing. Torox has the Banner of Madness on him, so he's a mortis engine provided they have low leadership. They're killing stuff pretty quickly. I mean, more than 3 full stack armies going down pretty damn fast. And of course, getting the Banner of Madness, that doesn't have to necessarily go on Torox, but you can only equip one of them per lord. Whereas in Wormit, you used to be able to equip many of them. That being said, only one of them would stack at a time. Now, as long as there's no... Okay, there's a mortis engine there. Definitely prioritize them. Some new ones have just shown up. Luckily, their mortis engine effect doesn't stack, but we should still just get rid of them, since that other one did so much damage to us. But you do end up in this sort of situation here if you give specific orders where they try too hard to get to it and sort of derp around a whole lot. Yeah, there's like 4 mortis engines here at the moment. Loads of them in these armies. Maybe just try to put a couple of Gorebulls on each of the mortis engines so that we can at least try to get rid of all of them at the same time. Get back in here. How many more reinforcements are left? Not much. We'll probably inflict the army losses soon, because we're still in pretty good shape. It's a shame that the Gorebulls don't get the blood greed effect that that Taurox gets, which allows him to regenerate, which is right here. So he's done 130,000 damage. So yeah, you don't need to use the wizard, but it definitely did help. Okay, is that all? No, still another mortis engine over here we gotta get rid of. God, how many are there? Like 8? No, I think it's only like 6. I think we've got a few more heals in here we can use. Just try to keep our bounce of power as high as possible. There's a lot of these. Okay. So just looking at some of the Gorebulls, 20,000 damage nearly on that one. Yeah, this one here is taking a bit of a beating, but all of them are doing a ton of damage. So typically speaking, a unit sort of does its worth when it's inflicted around 10,000 damage. It depends on the unit. So a unit like a Gorebull, a high tier single entity, that is high level, you'd expect it to do around 10 to 15,000 damage. So if it's still relatively healthy, having already done that much... Look at this one here. This is... This one here is regenerating. How's it doing that? Ah, troll hide, right. Right. You just don't have heaps of them. That's why these ones here are so healthy. They've all got troll hides. Because, yeah, you used to be able to get the champion's essence to just, like, equip them on all of your heroes, just as long as you got them a favor, which it wasn't too hard to get. And that would get you covered for regen. But now you got to get those troll hides. I was wondering why these 4 here were just always healthy. Alright, as for... Oh, this he's getting ganged up on. But it looks like the army losses got inflicted there. So yeah, a lot of this was due to the strength of the items for sure. But that being said, items don't make your units beyond impossibly strong. Especially when you've got this many of them. So these are already very strong units that were made additionally even stronger by the items. Now, could they have taken this on without those items? Maybe. Might have taken a lot more damage. Would have had to rely a lot more on the wizard. But those are some pretty good kills, considering that was only a 10-minute long battle as well. So, we actually had 21 units, because this one here counts as 2. since it's on a Razor Gore chariot. Looked like it had a troll hide as well, because it regenerated. So why were we so exhausted here? It doesn't look like we got caught in Force March. Yeah, the maximum number of dread that you can get. Doesn't matter how many enemies you go up against, that is the maximum amount. Cool. Alright, we'll have a look at Taurox. And I want to sort of compare him to just a regular Doom Bull. And see if that might have been better, because I know that... right, he was in raid stance. Making that attack. Right, I see. That's why he was tired. Fair enough. Fair enough. We were actually only attacking that situation. Okay. So yeah, looking at some of these items firstly. What do we got? Yep. Made him essentially a one-man doomstack there. And... Yep. Didn't have all the equipment slots filled, but Troll Hide is the main one there for that extra regen. Yep. They weren't even fully equipped. Therefore, you know, obviously 0 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. You got all this done by turn 90. Yeah, well, then again, with Taurox, I guess that's definitely possible. Because he generates so much dread just by fighting around everywhere. But yeah, if we have a look at the dread cost to increase, the Gorebulls, yeah, he's got currently all of the Gorebulls that he could possibly get in his entire faction just in one army, and getting new ones is getting increasingly more expensive. Does he currently have active the reduced cost? Yeah, he does. So when that expires, it'll go up to 4,000. So yeah, it's pretty damn expensive to do this, making it not super practical. Now, let's have a look at his skills. Not down to not rating him just yet. We're still looking at some other stuff. So, is there anything in here that Taurox is providing that gives him a reason for putting in Gorebulls over Minotaurs? I don't see anything. No, anything here that's boosting Gorebulls can easily be done by other lords. Because if you ever look at his trait here, he provides weapon strength for Minotaurs, which isn't that much, but that doesn't include Gorebulls. So, alright, let's just quickly go and have a look at a... Okay, I need to increase capacity. Go and have a look at a Doom Bull. And have a look at its skills. See if it might have been better. Yeah, so that doesn't count towards... that? Yeah, same thing with that one there. So it's got the fueled by blood. Yeah, pretty basic skill line on the Doom Bull there. Not particularly interesting. Let's have a look at instead... I doubt a Beast Lord would boost Gorebulls, but let's have a look at them anyway. That actually could work. Weapon strength for the entire Lord's army, that would actually boost Gorebulls. Missile resistance for the entire army, that would boost Gorebulls. So, that wouldn't have helped in that particular situation. But yeah, putting these guys on a Razor Gore in a blob, they can get taken down fairly quickly. And if he's on foot, he's not going to be able to assist. But then again, you could always just keep him out of the fight. Just let the Gorebulls do all the fighting. You know, if you've got an extra 10% weapon strength on 18 Gorebulls, you know, that's the equivalent of having, you know, 2 extra Gorebulls essentially in your army. Not a ton, but you know, that's more than what. Let me have a look at it. More than what Taurox is providing. Let me check this again. So yeah, he went down this line here. This one here is not doing anything in the army because he has no Minotaurs technically. Yeah, and he doesn't have the other skill that this one has. Now let me check the Wizard Lord and see what it provides. Doesn't matter which rank, which Lord of Magic. So that won't do anything. Neither will that. Now, the only benefit, I guess, with getting this one in here is that it casts Winds of Magic cheaper than a Bray Shaman. So you got the Great Bray Shaman here, right? So this guy here could be your spellcaster, and then that way you could put 19 Gorebulls into the army. So, depends on which way you want to go, if you want to even build this army. But I'd say that Torrox the Brass Bull might be thematic for this, but he doesn't really provide them the best benefit, apart from him just being a great warrior. If you want to make the Gorebulls stronger, I'd use a Beast Lord. If you want to put more Gorebulls into the army, use a Great Bray Shaman. That way you can put this other Bray Shaman elsewhere. But I think that Torrox was not the best choice for this. In terms of practicality, alright, now time for the rating of it. Practicality, this is highly impractical. Because you're far better off spending the dread on other things rather than hyper-focusing on Gorebulls. You're way better off. Like, as far as dread production and how you're going to spend it, the most cost-effective thing that you can do with your dread is to purchase new armies. Even if your armies are just full of Ungor raiders, that is the most practical thing. Now, that being said, the beastmen are strong enough that you don't have to do the most practical thing. But just keep in mind that you can get 2 or 3 extra armies, because the price on that never goes up. 2 or 3 extra armies for every single Gorebull that you're producing. So that would give you more effectiveness in your campaign. Another thing is that you would be better off as well making sure that you have got like an even number of the other heroes, because all 3 of them are good in different ways, which is more cost effective for your dread. Another thing is using the unit caps, which he has done a little bit of, but again, keeping some of the higher tier units at higher numbers of them would be a little bit better. Although increasing the hero cap is kind of more effective than unit caps because of how much more value they provide. Unless you're doing something like a Gorgon or Jabberslath, because those 2 are absolutely fantastic units. Same thing with maybe Minotaurs with shields. They're also really good. I would assume that you've already got these lords, right? I would assume. Ah, look what he's done. He's duplicated Torrox. So he's got multiple Torroxes. Right, fair enough. Fair enough if you're gonna do that. Right. He doesn't actually have the other legendary lords. That's interesting. As far as I can tell. I don't think he does. But yeah. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, in terms of practical, this is not practical at all. So very low score for practicality. In terms of strength, extremely strong. That was really, really powerful. And in terms of ease of use, very easy to use this. I really didn't need to use the Bray Shaman, so I could have just thrown them into the battle and then just kept an eye on these 3's Helm of Discords. Obviously, they've all got quite a lot of items, and they're not fully maxed out yet, either. So yeah, it gets top marks, really, in terms of ease of use and strength, and it kind of gets bottom marks for, like, practicality. It's really impractical. The Beastmen definitely generate enough dread that you can do something like this, and it's not going to hurt your campaign too much. But it is really not the best way to spend your dread, and it's up to you how you want to play your campaign. There's not going to be a problem, you know, I've got to take practicality into consideration. This is just not practical at all. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of this particular doomstack. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, if you enjoy these videos. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for sending this save file in, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.